Hey, Redesigning Health and Home family, it's Carrie and Meg, and we are so happy that you're joining us today. Today is holiday food recipes. We're so excited.
Yay! We are so excited. Anytime food, but holiday food, nothing better.
Absolutely. And we had some submissions from some of our listeners that we're so excited to share. And if you stick around to the end, we'll actually share how you can get a copy of, well, it's a virtual copy of our digital cookbook that we're going to share with everybody's recipes today. So you don't have to worry about trying to write anything down. We got you covered. Stay to the end, and we'll tell you how to get your hands on that. So
Yes, Carrie figured out a wonderful way how to take these some handwritten submissions
mhm.
and we're going to put it into a fun project.
Yes, absolutely. So, but I was thinking, Meg, that you've been at your new home for 2 months now. Is that
Been
true?
about 2 months. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And how's it going?
We're enjoying it. I mean, it's so pretty here. And the fall is, I've never seen such a beautiful background and scenery with the leaves and these beautiful trees and
Yeah.
the water that surrounds us. So we're very blessed and lucky to be here.
Oh,
Yeah, so far, so good. I hear you're
beautiful.
getting snow.
We got snow overnight. We did get snow. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. Yes. So, and I think they got even more snow downtown by the lake.
Okay, well, I was talking to my kids. They're going to the Bears game today. And of course, the day my sweet daughter said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to triple up on pants and get really warm." But maybe it'll be a super fun snowball, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that when you live in a place like Chicago, you just have to embrace it.
You
We're
do.
going to layer up and go and enjoy that game. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hope they
Oh,
have a
that's great.
great time
I
together.
hope they do too. That's so great. What a great thing for them to do together. So,
Absolutely.
I was thinking of you though, because when you left Washington, you had to leave behind all your clients and your classes that you were teaching, your fitness classes. And so now that you live kind of remote. So
We do.
what's happening with that? Are you able to kind of keep that going at all?
I totally am. I feel really lucky. I mean, I have my YouTube and that's so much fun. And
Yes.
then I have a few clients one-on-one, all virtual, which has been
Oh,
working out beautifully.
oh, awesome.
Some I've had pretty much since COVID, and they've
Really?
just always wanted to stay virtual.
Okay.
And then one of my old establishments was just so gracious when I moved to keep a class, and they went virtual for me. So yeah,
Uh,
it's good. It's given me a little bit of that still another type of community, along with redesigning health and home and my
Right.
FitFed community too. Thank you.
Right, right. Well, just another great perk of having this technology at our fingertips to be able to do that.
Amazing perk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into the recipe submissions that we got today. And it occurred to me that being from Canada, I have quite a few submissions from some friends and family from Canada, and that we kind of do have a few holiday things that I think are specific to Canadians. You'll have to let me know if you've heard of any of these. So if you don't mind, I was going to just share a few of them and see if you've heard of them
I
before.
can't wait to hear. Go for it.
Okay. Okay. So the first one is called Nanaimo bars. Have you heard of Nanaimo bars?
Never.
Okay. So Nanaimo bars, I'm going to read this. You're going to see me reading here. Um, it is a bar dessert that requires no baking, which is awesome. It's named after the Canadian city Nanaimo, which is in British Columbia. And it has 3 layers: a wafer nut coconut crumb base, a
Ooh.
custard icing in the middle, and a layer of chocolate ganache on the top. And it
What?
is heavenly. It's so good. My mom used to make it all the time.
Oh. Called Nanaimo bars.
So I guess it's just named after the town where they kind of originated,
Oh, so
Nanaimo, British
cool.
Columbia. Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the second one. Butter tarts. Have you heard of them?
I've not heard of butter tarts, but
Okay.
maybe once you say what it is, it'll sound
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, so it's a very traditional Canadian thing. So it's a butter tart. It's a small pastry. So it's a tart like in a tart shell. It says highly regarded in Canadian cuisine. The sweet tart consists of a filling of butter, sugar, syrup, and egg baked in a pastry shell until the filling is semi-solid with a crunchy top.
Is this similar to a flan?
No, it is
No.
definitely a tart. So the closest I can think of is if you have pecan pie or a pecan tart
Oh,
and you take the pecans out, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
I see. Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
sweet and delicious.
Yes, and some people add raisins in, but that's a hot button because some people are like, "Do not come near my butter tart with your raisins," and then other people are like, "Oh, I love the raisins," so that's a bit of a hot button there, so
Okay.
and then have you ever heard of a dainty tray?
A dainty tray?
A dainty
Well,
tray.
okay, I'm picturing something very demure, cute
Right.
little pastries on a tray?
Yes, you're pretty much right. So, a dainty tray is a variety of fancy cookies, pastries, or squares. So, it's very common for somebody in Canada to say, "Oh, I'll bring a dainty tray to the party." And they just mean, "I'm gonna bring in an assortment of desserts." And
Oh,
they're
I
all
like that.
they're kind of little bite size usually. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but I think that's a British inspiration there. So,
an assortment of
yeah.
treats on a
Yeah, like
tray.
little cookies and bars and squares and yummy things like
I
that.
might have to borrow that, a dainty
A
tray.
dainty tray.
Okay.
And then, well, I already know that you know this one. So pierogies and cabbage rolls, because there's a very large Ukrainian influence in Canada. And so that quite often makes it onto people's tables. And my mom made such great cabbage rolls. They were so good. So yeah, that's something that's quite often on our table as well.
Okay, so my bubby, my
Mm-hmm.
grandma, and
Yep.
my mom and made cabbage rolls. The
Oh,
kids love them.
yeah.
They were called glumpki.
Really?
Glumpki. Now tell me
Well,
about your cabbage rolls. Is it in a tomato sauce?
tomato sauce, and I think there's usually, ground beef in there.
Yeah, and
Yes.
rice
Oh, yes, 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 that's true.
in
I
the
forgot about that.
cabbage
Oh,
roll.
yes, I forgot about that. Yes, I've never made them. They look very difficult to make. Are they?
Well, you have to soften all the
Mhm.
cabbage
Right, right,
so that it will roll.
right,
And
sure.
then
Yeah.
you toothpick them and then mouth is watering, Carrie.
Oh, right, I
Jeez,
know.
cabbage rolls.
So good.
Yes, with a little dollop of sour cream on top.
Yes, yes. And I don't know any other name for cabbage rolls, but I do remember Pete's Baba calling pierogies petahe.
Petahe.
Petahe. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always thought they were Polish, but you're saying Ukrainian.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So those countries are very close. So I think that the influences, goes across the
Sure.
border. Yes. So our last name, people automatically assume it's Polish because it's has SKI at the end. So and it does sound Polish, right? But Pete's Baba was Ukrainian. So
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes, cabbage rolls. That sounds so good. Glumki.
Yes. Glumki. Yum.
Yes,
I'm
yes. Okay.
hungry.
What else do
All
you have?
right. So now we're going to share the recipes that were sent to us.
You go for it. I love this.
Okay. So the first one came from my sister Deb, and she shared Dad's nuts and bolts. And so here's the story behind it. Dad used to make these for craft sales every holiday season. I've adapted the recipe a bit, mostly to cut down on the salt. His version had a all caps lot of salt. I found
Cute.
this version online a few years ago, and it's become our go-to ever since. Still salty, but not quite as much as Dad's. And I have to ask you, I thought, oh, this word would have been perfect for our pronunciation debate.
Okay.
I'll spell it, and then you tell me how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Pronounce it. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, Shire.
Right.
Worcester Worcestershire? Worcestershire?
So I actually had to go online to get the pronunciation. And the one that I found that seemed easiest was Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. Okay, that makes sense
Worcestershire.
now. That sounds
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Worcestershire.
But if you look at that word, that looks like there's a lot more syllables than that.
Yes,
But
yes.
that's one of the ingredients, and then it's butter, seasonings, cereals, and salty snacks like pretzels, bugles, and Ritz Bits, which I don't know if those are Canadian or not, but
Now, when are you having nuts and bolts? Is this just
so
in a tray somewhere?
yeah, this is in a bowl for movie night. It's Christmas Eve. You might have just a bowl, a little snacky bowl out, but also bagged up with a little ribbon on the top. It's a cute gift.
Oh,
It's a
cute.
cute gift as well, too. So,
Very sweet. Thanks,
so
Deb.
yeah, Dad's nuts and bolts.
I like it. I like it.
What do you
All
have?
all right. So my brother Adam had a nice memory. Well, and this was even when I was speaking to my daughter and my husband and me and my
Oh,
family. My mom's stuffing, but the story Adam wanted to share was when we were little, people used dried bag croutons almost
yes.
for the
Yeah.
stuffing. Well, my mom would toast white bread in a toaster, 2 slices
Oh,
at a time.
really?
And we, when we were little, would run around the kitchen. This was always the night before Thanksgiving because it needed to
Okay.
dry out a little bit.
Yeah.
She would toast the bread and we would run around, and as soon as it popped up, we'd pull it out of the toaster and you'd have to rip it up into
Right.
chunks. So they were all different shapes. And then my mom would have this amazing huge bowl of bread dried
Yeah.
out then in a little bit,
Yeah.
and she'd start the stuffing that way. But this
Oh,
bread toasting and ripping has since little,
right.
when my mom stopped making stuffing, I mean, she made
Mm.
it forever, then I took over, and I
Aw.
remember just wanting to make it taste exactly the same way. So
Right.
my kids then would just rip up the bread and very cute. So he right away called and said, I said, "Hey, what's up?" He said, "Well, I'm calling about the recipe request."
Aw.
And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." So he shared that story and it just, oh gosh, it flew me right back to when
Mm.
I
Yeah.
was a little girl.
Yes. Yes, and homemade breadcrumbs. I love that.
Homemade breadcrumbs, yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I remember you could go to the store and buy just a bag of crumbled up breadcrumbs. But yeah, you make them yourself.
Yeah, yeah, so
Oh,
super fun, yes.
that's so
Never oh, yeah. I know there was the stovetop, which has its place and is delicious, and you can
sure.
use it in so many, but
Yes.
mom definitely had her stuffing recipe.
Yes, yes. Aw. Well, I hope you're gonna share that. That's gonna be in
Oh,
our virtual
yeah.
cookbook, right? Okay, great. Great. Well, this submission came from Lindsay, my niece Lindsay, and was her response to my request. I have been pondering the recipe tradition question and I'm coming up dry. My kids hate traditional Christmas dinner. So years ago, I gave up on that, and each year they give me a new culinary challenge. Year one was authentic Vietnamese pho. The broth took me days, but was, quote, better than the restaurant, which was high praise from the kids. Our only other holiday meal tradition is to make a bunch of random Costco appetizer things for Christmas Eve dinner. Think all the yummy frozen things like coconut shrimp, spring rolls, and taquitos.
That's great.
Yep. So no specific recipe there, but just what their family has adopted, which
But
I love
how
that.
fun, right,
Yes. Yes.
right, just to explore something new every year, that's kinda fun.
Yes. It actually reminded me, this story is funny and also a little bit sad. So we were living in Rochester at the time, and we were going to my sister Barb's house for Christmas. So excited. And we were driving there, and we were about 45 minutes out. It was quite a long drive. And she called and she tested positive for COVID.
Oh.
So we did not stay there. So we ended up driving to Chicago, which is where our eldest daughter lived at the time. But we pulled into town Christmas Eve day, minutes before Trader Joe's was about to close. So we gave them a credit card and we said, go, just get whatever, whatever looks good. And so they did. And it was the most random Christmas dinner because it was just like, just all this random appetizer stuff. But it created this great story, right? And this great
That
moment.
is marvelous. That's a
Yes.
great story. I bet they remember that so much too.
Yeah, yeah, it was a very different Christmas, and of course, we were sad that we missed out on the Christmas, and my sister Barb had been preparing for weeks ahead of
Oh.
time. She's like, "What am I gonna do with all this food?" And so it was bittersweet, I would say.
You know, life throws us curveballs,
Yeah,
and it sounds
exactly.
like you made the
Yes.
best of it, and
Yes.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
very good. Oh. So our wonderful listener and friend Katie.
Yes. Yay, Katie.
Yeah, hi, Katie. She sent in a very sweet note. So I'll just read her note and then we'll, of course, put her recipes into our virtual cookbook. She says, I own 2 crock pots and sometimes I think I need a third. Exclamation, exclamation, which I
Wow.
understand that. When the adult kids come home for the holidays, I love keeping the crock pots going. Here are 2 favorite recipes. Easy. The meatballs we enjoy on New Year's Eve and again on Super Bowl Sunday. The chicken and rice is an easy to make crowd pleaser, a filling dinner, and love Katie. So, and yeah, she sent 2 very nice recipe cards with those cocktail meatballs with cranberry sauce. Sounds very festive.
Oh,
And then her crock pot chicken and rice. So we will
wow.
definitely share those. Thank you, Katie.
Yes, thank you, Katie. And actually, that brings me to my friend Lori then, because she submitted a recipe that I'm actually changing the name a bit to Wee Little Meatballs, because she said the key to these is to make the meatballs very small. I make a sweet and sour meatball dish that's similar, but Lori's is a little different. She shares, we had a Christmas supper, not at our home, but at a friend's home, and these delicious meatballs were served. We got her recipe and now we have it ourselves every Christmas. One of Daryl's favorites. So I'm curious to see how similar they are. The cranberry sauce sounds a little bit different, but I think there is grape jelly in this recipe. I think
Okay.
so, yes.
Very fun. Now, did she say these are just an appetizer? She did
Yeah,
say
I'm
oh.
imagining toothpicks or,
Oh,
a few on your appy plate. I guess it could be served with dinner too, though, right?
that sounds great. Well, speaking of meatballs, we make Swedish meatballs every year for Christmas Eve
Oh, okay.
because Gibb's mom made amazing Swedish meatballs, and these go to our Christmas Eve festivities. And
Okay.
that Christmas Eve on Gibbs' side is a cocktail party.
Oh,
Everybody
wow.
brings 2 or 3 appetizers every Christmas Eve. Everyone's so excited to see what people are bringing. And most of it's the same every year
Yes.
with a few new things. But the
Mhm.
Swedish meatballs, oh, they just are a taste of home. So we do meatballs too on
So question about Swedish meatballs, because I'm thinking IKEA, Swedish meatballs. And so what's the difference? Are they more gravy kind
well,
of?
the ones that we make, we do not make a sauce with them.
Oh, okay.
I think you obviously could
Right.
and serve them, but
Mhm.
these are just what's interesting about them is the seasoning or the spices are allspice,
Oh,
little nutmeg,
okay.
so they have this warmth behind the flavor. And just
Right.
again, little. I think his mom used to fry them in a pan with some butter.
Right.
I've made an edit too, where I make the little balls or whoever's helping,
Mhm,
Gibbs' wonderful great aunt is usually with us over Christmas and she
mhm.
helps put it together. But we make the little balls on a cookie tray and
Okay.
then bake them.
Oh, yeah.
And if you just I remember Gibbs' mom once when I think I first made them years ago, she tasted one and it needed more seasoning. So she was
Oh.
so sweet. So when they came out of the oven, I think I did them in the oven that time. She just took the allspice and kind of dusted on the top while they were still
Ooh, yeah.
warm and then a little
Oh.
seasoning salt. They are amazing. So yes, that
Oh.
the meatball situation continues for us too.
Yes, wow, that's quite a few meatball dishes that we're gonna be sharing, that's all.
Yeah, so fun.
Well, Sue, who was one of our guests on the show, also submitted, are you ready for this? Pumpkin gingerbread with caramel sauce. Like, does that not sound
I can't wait to hear this because what I'm picturing, I first pictured a caramel glaze, but
mm,
then I thought maybe it's like
drizzles
warm.
or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
after you're sliced? Tell me.
Well, let me tell you the story she gave behind it. She said, "One Christmas, our family was scattered and we had Christmas with friends. She served this cake. The following Christmas, I served it, and now it's an annual request. My dad loved it. Now that he's gone, I remember the way he reacted with the first taste. It makes me feel close to him when he's no longer at our table." So it gives the recipe for the pumpkin gingerbread cake part, and then it says butter, corn syrup, brown sugar, and whipping cream. Really? Oh, that sounds decadent.
That really does. Okay, so it is served with the sauce on the side.
Or maybe drizzled on the top?
Yeah.
Mm. Sounds
My
amazing.
gosh, yes. Thank
Sounds
you, Sue.
Yeah, sounds decadent, so
It does, it does.
yes.
Well, I am going to go to Trisha,
Mhm.
and Trisha emailed us, so thank you so much. She says, "Hi, Carrie and Meg. Plum dumplings." Now, plum dumplings. This goes back again to Bubby, my Bubby, my Bubby.
Aw.
I can see in her cute little bungalow house making these,
Mm.
with my family. And now she says, "This was my Bubby's recipe that she made on occasion during the year. Mom, my mom, my
Uh-huh.
sister's mom, and I have made them for Christmas as a side dish every year. And we always make extra that are not cooked. And we
Mm.
give a few to each of the families that are there
Okay.
because everybody wants more."
Right. Aw.
And they Trisha then has now since asked my daughter, her daughter for sometimes people get together that to make ravioli or the
Right.
pierogi making day. We
Yes.
have a plum dumpling making day. And Trisha scours the grocery stores for when the little Italian plums are available. They're very hard to
Oh,
find, and they
okay.
have a pit, but you can make them with strawberries, or we sometimes have made them with blueberries. They're very
Mm.
yummy. So you boil the dumpling once they're kind of
Oh, okay.
put together,
Yeah.
ricotta cheese, all the yummy good stuff just to make this soft dough, and you
Right.
fill them, and then you boil the dumpling.
Okay.
But then you take the boiled dumplings to your gathering, and you
Okay.
cut them in maybe 8, and you pan fry them in butter. So they get
Oh.
a little crispy and buttery, and
Uh,
sometimes you will sprinkle powdered sugar on top so they can be a sweet side as
yum.
well as a savory side. So, yes, that is a
And
family favorite.
so, is the fruit inside the dumpling?
It is inside the dumpling.
Oh my gosh, that
And
sounds amazing.
the first few of the year are a mess because you dump it into the boiling water and it all falls apart. So the dough is very tender, gentle.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
to make sure the consistency is just right to hold the
Yes.
dumpling or hold the plum inside.
Sure.
Or the blueberries or strawberries, or people do
Right.
peaches, whatever. Yeah, they're so good, and they're at Christmas time.
That sounds really amazing.
And
Yum.
she sent one more, and
Mhm.
that was for New Year's Eve, and Katie mentioned New Year's Eve for her meatballs.
Mhm.
So, this was New Year's Eve. She said, "We come together to prepare dinner." It's usually her kids and any significant others, and they start making it all together at 3, and it's beef Wellington on New Year's
Oh.
Eve. And she said, and they want it to be ready around 7 p.m. to eat. The recipe is followed, and they have the side. Usually mashed potatoes, which is her husband's dad's recipe. So a lot
Oh.
of family traditions with these. So
Yes.
definitely, and she attached the beef Wellington recipe that she uses. So we'll definitely share that as well.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds so delicious. Thank you, Trisha, for sharing those. That's so wonderful. So, Trisha's recipes lead right into the next ones that I was going to talk about. So you were mentioning about how the dough was quite delicate. So my friend Tina, she's sharing a pierogi recipe. So pierogies are very common to find on the table in Canada, as I mentioned. They're hard to make. So I know this because Pete's Baba tried to teach me. And if you don't pinch them all the way closed and you put them in the boiling water, your potatoes and your cheese are just going to end up floating in the water. So you can buy pierogies if you don't want to make, you can buy frozen pierogies. What's special about Tina's recipe is it has butter, sour cream, heavy cream, and dill in it. And so she said, this is a not good for you at all recipe that we enjoy as a side dish at holiday dinners. To make it gluten-free, you would just have to substitute the pierogies for gluten-free ones. Otherwise, everything else is gluten-free. She says it was a recipe my aunt brought to Christmas dinner, and it was a huge hit, so now it has been on the menu for every family get-together.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's Tina's submission with her pierogi recipe. And she says dill is optional, and I'm thinking, load up that dill. I love dill. Do you like dill?
Yeah, you were telling me about that dill cream sauce. And
Yeah.
let us say, again, these are holiday dishes,
Yes.
moderation. This is once, twice a year.
Yes.
We talk about all our decadent, lovely, wonderful food. So, yes.
Yes. Yes. This is not to eat every single day for sure. Well, and actually that leads right into Lori W. So there's two Loris today. This is Lori W. This recipe is named after the woman who developed it. So she said, this recipe has been part of our Thanksgiving since I married John. It was a recipe that his mother made for Thanksgiving each year. I continued the tradition. It is basically loaded mashed potatoes. It tastes great with or without gravy and can be made days ahead. I did not find out until many years later that Hazel Herms was actually a neighbor of John's parents in the early years of living in Arlington Heights. I love recipes that have the names of the person they came from, which is so true. And then she said that she usually doesn't include the chives, which I think the chives sound delicious. So what makes these special? Sour cream, cream cheese, milk, butter, and chives, all the delicious things for potatoes. And she said, I also don't use lower fat versions of the ingredients. I figure it's once or twice a year, so I load them up.
Load them
So when
up.
you did you say it was Bill's father's mashed potato recipe? So that made me
Yeah.
think of Lori's
Oh,
recipe. So
Hazel's potatoes. I love it.
Hazel's potatoes. Sounds
Yeah.
delicious, right?
Sounds really delicious. Very
Yeah.
good. Well, I'm going to go from savory to sweet.
Okay.
Our wonderful listener, Joellen, she
Aw.
always has
Joellen, Joellen, we love you. She's always commenting and she's so sweet. Thank you, Joellen.
yeah, and she makes on Christmas Eve at that big appetizer party.
Yes.
She's the one that has the dainty tray, but
Oh.
it's the cookie tray. And she
Oh.
makes cookies. So I spoke with her and I just said, Joe, tell me about when this started. And she said when she moved out of her parents' house,
Mhm.
she took the mixer
Oh.
and she told her mom, I will make the cookies for Christmas moving forward. And she said her mom was said, that's great.
Great.
That
Yeah.
is great. And she said she's been doing it ever since. And her
Um,
trays are just lovely. And I know she gives some, like we talked about the nuts and bolts as gifts.
yes.
This is probably multiple days, maybe into weeks. I'm not really sure. She didn't get into that, but she said, yeah, she's making the cookies. She makes chocolate chip and the peanut butter cookies, and she makes crock pot candy. She said
Oh.
she's been making that forever. And then she always likes to throw maybe one or two new ones. And she says she
Mhm.
has a new one for this year coming up.
Oh.
But there is a recipe for potato chip cookies. And she said one of her landlords gave her the recipe, and it's been a favorite on that tray. And she
Really?
adds a little food coloring dye, so she'll have green and red ones. And
Wow.
you know what? It's funny because I'm usually very hungry right when we get there because you travel, you drop your things off, you go to church
Right.
as a family. I probably go to that sweet tray first when I get there, when
Right.
there's still all of this other yummy, savory foods for Christmas Eve, and
Oh,
so great. So thank you, Joe Ellen. We love it.
oh my gosh, yes, that sounds wonderful. What a gift to bring to an event like that.
Right, right.
That's so nice. Well,
Please continue making the cookies.
yes, right? So you started off with the sweet treats, and I'm gonna carry on with that. So Karen, another one of our sweet listeners, she submitted almond paste cookies, and this is what she said. My grown daughter hates nuts, but she loves these cookies. I make these every year for Christmas as one of the must haves for my holiday cookies. Cousins, aunts, and especially kids beg me to make these. My daughter and son actually have arguments about who I love more based on the number of almond paste cookies they get each year. They will actually steal from each other's cookie boxes to be sure they get enough of them. I've gone from doubling this recipe to tripling it because they're so popular. They're not hard to make, but they are time consuming. By the time I'm done, they have gone from these petite half teaspoon sized cookies to a 2-inch blob because I want to be done with them. And of course, baking time changes when this happens. And then she added this sweet note. I look forward to learning about some new yummy recipes from your podcast. I'm sure you will have fun with this episode. You both always have a good time. Hugs and blessings, Karen.
Karen.
Right. And the very first ingredient is 1 pound or 2 cups of almond paste. I don't know that I've ever even seen almond paste.
Almond paste.
So I need to look into this recipe.
My mom has made an almond crescent cookie, and
Okay.
then you really douse them in powdered sugar. So I'm curious. I'd really want to take a peek at this recipe.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic of sweet treats, Meg, my sister Deb, in addition to the nuts and bolts, she also submitted something I want to try making this year because I think that our girls might really like it. It's an M&M Christmas cookie bar, and she said it's her kids' favorite, her grown kids. They ask for it every year. It's basically cookie dough made into bars with the colorful Christmas M&Ms and white and milk chocolate chips. And I saw a picture of the recipe that she sent, and they just look so festive and fun with the colorful M&Ms. So those look really, really good. And then my sweet friend Barb from back in Rochester, she says her mom's Christmas tree loaves. I think that Barb's mom is in her 90s. She's amazing. She is such a lovely woman. She says, every year, my mom would make these Christmas tree breads for our Christmas breakfast. She made them for many friends and my family. My sister memorialized the recipe one year by having it printed on a cloth for all of us. So it's almost looks like a dish towel, but you would never use it for that because it's too special. It is still a favorite for all of us, especially Everest and McKinley. One year, my parents came to visit me in Chicago, and my mom made 6 of them for me and my friends. When we went out to dinner one night, our dog Krista got into them and ate as many as she could and buried the rest of them in my white couches.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good.
not good.
No. Which actually reminds me of a story. My sister Barb and our friend Lori, who was our next door neighbor at the time, so we had made some desserts and we had set them out on the kitchen table to cool. And we went over to Lori's house for our visit. And Barbara had brought her 2 dogs, and we had Ollie, and we had put a gate and kept all of them in the family room. Well, little Coco was so agile, she jumped right over the fence, got up on the kitchen table, and proceeded to eat all these desserts. And of course, it didn't sit very well in her tummy. And so it was a very big mess when we got back. But so watch out
Oh,
for those little pets when it's holiday cooking time, I guess.
definitely, definitely. Oh, how great.
Yes, yes. And she actually sent a picture of the cloth with the recipe on it. And what's so sweet about it is that there's little dates written on the side with little
Oh,
notes. So also super sweet. So tell me about what you love. Like what does your
yeah.
family
Well,
love?
for sure. I mean, this could run this into 10 hours. But speaking of kind of traditions from when I grew up,
Mhm.
my mom would stop at the bakery, the Polish bakery, probably a day or two before Christmas Eve and
Mhm.
pick up hoska.
Oh, what's that?
It's a braided bread, very
Oh,
brioche-like,
okay.
and sometimes there's golden raisins and slivered almonds.
Mm.
Even the kids just could not wait. Once we all had kids, so then she'd give each family a couple hoskas because we all
Mm.
wanted them. Slice it, and then just munch on it for days after Christmas. My mom was just the most amazing cook,
Mm.
honestly. You'd rather have that than going to a restaurant because she really
Uh,
was a great cook. So her stuffing, and then for Thanksgiving, she always went to the turkey farm. She'd tell us, "We're going to," I think it was called Hoka, maybe, somewhere,
hmm,
maybe by you, actually.
could be.
Out out maybe that way, and they'd get a turkey, and she always had a specific size because she said if it's too large, it'll be dry, so they would get a couple, but then they would get legs, turkey legs.
Okay.
So every Thanksgiving, she'd have a whole huge tray of dark meat.
Oh.
Because dark meat was a little bit on our family's favorite, and it was just all smothered in this delicious gravy that
Oh,
she got from the turkey. I mean, she made it, but
sure.
all of the ingredients were fresh from the turkey farm. Yeah, so delicious. And then I was just talking to the kids about Christmas and Thanksgiving, and one year my son just said, "I think we should have mac and cheese for Thanksgiving," because everything was very traditional, you know, everything was very traditional, and my dad, I can just hear him saying, "Mac and cheese, that doesn't go on Thanksgiving," and then I made it. I said, "You know what? I'm making it." That became a favorite, so we've had that every year with
Yes.
everything else, so delicious,
Yes.
and
Well, if I can pop in there for a
I wanna
second,
hear.
because Jessica's a vegetarian, and so she doesn't do any of the meat dishes, obviously. But mac and cheese became one of her requests
Oh.
as well, and so it usually makes it onto our table as well. Now, question: do you make any crunchy toppings on the top?
I have not. Do
Okay,
you?
because my mom, we don't, because my mom used to crumble bacon on the top, which
Mm.
obviously for a vegetarian doesn't work out. But also she would take like saltine crackers and I think maybe crumble them up and mix them with a bit of butter and salt. She would sprinkle it on the top with the bacon on the top and then at the end kind of broil it for a bit and it would get this crispy topping on the top. So good.
That sounds amazing. Yes, I've seen those,
Yeah.
and I don't know why I haven't tried that.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could do half and half. 'Cause not
Ooh,
everybody would necessarily want that. If Ted likes it the way he likes it,
that's true.
tell my favorite things to be on the
I want
table.
it.
So I came up with 4. Of course, there's many more. But rum cake, which I will include in our digital cookbook. It is so yummy, so moist, and I think it's probably peak in my favorite. My mom's marshmallow fruit salad, which not everybody
Yes.
loves. My sister Barb and I were talking about that because we were like, we love it, but none of our kids like it. Only
Nobody
only Barb
loves.
and I and our husbands like it. So but yeah, it's has to be on the table. I love it. And peanut butter marshmallow squares, a dainty, I would say. So
Okay.
yummy. So definitely,
Is that a no bake?
it's a no bake.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's a no bake. You have to melt stuff, but you don't have to put anything in the oven. So yeah, it's really, really tasty. It's a good one. But those when you can cut into teeny little bites, you're going to probably eat a bunch of them, but they're pretty rich. So yeah. And then I have stuffing on my list too, but I don't do anything fancy like what you do. I think I
Well,
need
tell
to.
me.
Oh no, I'm a stovetop stuffing gal.
Okay. But it's tradition and that's the flavor yeah, because then when you try something else and it doesn't taste the way you think it should taste. Yes. No, that's great. I love that.
Well, that being said, Meg, please feel free to share if you want to make some stuffing and send it my way. I'm happy to taste test it.
Oh gosh, it is amazing. And just a couple other ones that my kids reminded me of. Every year since they were little, Gib makes candy cane pancakes on Christmas Eve breakfast.
Oh my gosh, what is a candy cane pancake?
So Gib would make pancakes, but he'd give Ziploc baggies of little candy canes to the kids
Yeah.
to chop,
Yeah. Smash them up, yep.
smash them up, and then think of Elf, syrup, candy canes. This year, we'll hopefully do it again. And then Christmas morning, I always make quiche.
Oh, yum.
Kind
Yeah.
of when we're up and we're just all gathering.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm up early, but then it
Mhm.
goes in the oven and you can smell it while we're just saying
Yes.
good morning and stuff. So
Yes.
those
Yeah.
are 2 things, just the 4 plus Marianne, because she's usually with us,
Yes.
we've enjoyed
Nice.
for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, my sister Deb does a dish called wife saver, and I think it's called that because it's similar. You toss it in the oven and it's,
Oh,
baking while the Christmas morning is getting started. But yeah, I think it's bread and eggs and
breakfast
stuff. Yeah,
casserole.
yeah, breakfast kind
Yeah,
of casserole and called wife saver, which I think that name is pretty
nice.
funny. But yeah, that's on her list too. And for us on Christmas morning, I kinda started this little tradition just a few years ago, but, we all love, Panera Bread's Cinnamon Crunch Bagels with hazelnut cream cheese, so I pick some of those up the day before. You can order them.
You'd have to order them.
You have to order them, and specifically the hazelnut cream cheese, and we have those in the morning, usually with just some scrambled eggs and some fruit. That's kind of
Ah,
it's nothing fancy, but everybody loves cinnamon crunch bagels, so that's what we
that
get.
is so fun. Yeah, and speaking of Panera, because Christmas Eve lunch,
Mhm.
because we would separate families.
Yes.
I always invited our parents and Gibbs' dad for lunch before
Mhm.
we would go our separate ways for beef barley soup. So I'd order Panera's
Oh.
cheesy bread and also their bread bowls.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's a great idea.
Not everybody wants the bread bowl. I just
Mm.
want a bowl of soup with bread on the side.
Yeah. Mhm.
But for sure, Gib and Julia always wanted that bread bowl because then it soaks
Yes.
it. Oh, and beef barley soup was my dad's favorite, my family's favorite. And my mom was always very sweet because she'd say, you know, you're doing a good job taking it over because she always made it too. And she'd give me a pat on the back saying, this is
Yeah.
really good. So,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
that's a family favorite too. This has been so
It
fun.
has been so fun. I can literally hear the bells and the Christmas music playing behind. American Thanksgiving is coming up as well, so I wore my red sweater to be festive today.
You are festive. Let me see those earrings.
So they look a little snowflakey,
Oh,
don't
I
they?
like them. 'em. They're
Yeah.
very pretty.
And so we're recording this fairly early in November. Today is November 9th. And I have to tell you that my sister Deb, who lives in Canada, so their Thanksgiving is long past, is setting up her Christmas decorations today.
She is.
Yes. And I was like, well, that's early. But we were driving yesterday to visit some friends and we saw some people with their Christmas trees and their lights and everything, not just up, but on. And I was like, okay.
Well, their Thanksgiving is past because kind of our family rule is right after Thanksgiving we can
Yes.
decorate.
Right.
So, in her credit,
Yes.
if she's going by that rule,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
But I have seen the Christmas decorations. When do you decorate?
It really depends what's happening at our house. If we're having Christmas at our house, I start a little bit earlier
Okay.
and I might start setting up things on the inside even before Thanksgiving. This year we're traveling to my sister's house, so hard to say what I'll do. But when we lived in Rochester, it was like day after Thanksgiving, bing, everybody's decorations came on, all their lights came
Turn
on,
the
and
lights on.
I'm scrambling like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot again." Every year was the same, but I was like, "Oh, gotta hurry up and get my lights up and all that stuff." So,
All right, I have a few questions for you then.
yeah.
Do you do multiple trees?
I do 2 trees.
2
I
trees.
have a large tree that we put in our family room, and then I have my angel tree that I started when my mom passed away, and,
Oh.
with a photo of mom on there, and it's my gold tree, there's only gold ornaments on there, and now my dad's on the tree as well, so that's our angel tree, and this year, I ordered from my sister Barbara a big bow to put on the top, so I'm actually
Oh.
really excited to see that. She sent it to me. It's beautiful, and I can't wait to add that, and it's kinda extra special that she made it, and it's going on the angel tree with our mom and dad's pictures on there, so, yeah.
That is
That
extra special.
goes
Tell
into our
me
blue room.
blue room. Oh, with the
Mhm.
gold tree, so
Yes.
pretty. Oh,
Yeah.
I can picture that since I've been
Yeah.
over there. That's pretty.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what are some of your other favorite decorating pieces for the holidays?
Well, I love to make a fancy table. I would rather make a fancy table than have to cook. I've mentioned that before. So I love to layer it up with all the charger and the plates and the candles, and I bring out the good dishes. I love to have any excuse to use good dishes. I got that from my mother. We both really love pretty dishes, so that's a must do. And then I probably mostly focus the rest of the decorations on the mantle and in the entryway, out on the front step, but also in the foyer.
Now tell me, do you have lights everywhere too? Twinkly lights?
I put twinkle lights, of course, on the trees and on the mantle because I do garland on the mantle
Oh,
and twinkle lights on the console table. One year I tried that. It was kind of going viral for a bit. It's where you take the tension rod. So a tension rod, obviously, you can put it up anywhere in a doorway or between two walls that are close enough together, and you wrap the garland and the lights around, and you add whatever
yeah.
and, one year I did that in the entryway, and it was pretty, but I kept worrying it was gonna fall down. You
Right.
know?
But that
So
sounds very fun and festive. I like
yeah,
that.
it was pretty, and one year I did it we have a little window seat in our kitchen, and I put it up there, but I
Oh.
used real greenery, and as it got dry, it would just every time you went by it, it would just rain those needles down, and I thought, "Yeah, this is why you don't use this in the
Don't
inside."
shake it at all, right?
Yes.
Oh, geez. Now,
Yes.
do you do only white lights or do you have multicolor?
No, I'm a white lights girl. How about you?
Right now, I would prefer white lights. I mean, if there is a string of multicolor in
Yeah.
our decorating box, I probably would still plug them in and use them somewhere,
Right.
but I'd probably, yeah, just the white. Oh, so
Yeah.
pretty.
It's so pretty and it's just so romantic and there's something about the white twinkle lights I just love. The colored lights are so fun, and when our girls were little, of course, they wanted colored lights, but there's something about the white lights that I just love
Yeah.
because then when Christmas is over, it's still just this nice glow. You can even keep them up for a little bit. Just
Yeah.
feels so cozy in the house with the white twinkle lights. So that's what I like.
Do you keep your table that you will, use the charger and the best step set? Or is that just when you're serving?
So for Thanksgiving, if we're having Thanksgiving, usually I would set it the night before
Okay.
and it'll just be for dinner. And then same for Christmas, it's usually just for dinner time. And so then I have to make sure that I can roll the tablecloth back so my husband can eat breakfast and lunch without messing up my table.
Yes. Okay. Very important step there.
Yes, because we do not have a specific dining room in this house. So
Well, your table works perfectly. I
yeah.
know that mentioned the viral tension rod.
Mhm.
The one that I started a couple years ago, I saw a cute video, I think on Instagram. She used big, wide, gauzy ribbon. You
Mm.
can buy it
Yeah.
at Michael's or Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
And I wrapped the front door,
Oh, cute.
and then
Yes.
just added wasn't
Pretty.
perfect like a lot of people do. One of Twig and Vine's bows would be wonderful in the center of that,
Oh, sure.
but that was really fun because it
That was
really looked pretty, and you could still
yes.
open and close the door like
Yes.
normal, and yeah, that was a fun one. Do you do anything on your door besides a wreath, or do you even
Oh,
do a wreath?
Yeah, I do a wreath on the front door, and we have some urns and little topiary balls that we put lights on, and sometimes I'll tie bows around the urns. So yeah, usually I've got some little light up gifts that are just cute that I might put in the front. So
Yeah,
I just concentrate on just the front entry, which is enough. It's
it
enough.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You know what one of my favorite things to look at is?
Hmm.
Are your planters that you use for summer with
Yes.
the white what
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, like the branches that look like snow on them. Yes, very pretty.
Then the red berries and
Yes, that's very
oh,
pretty
those are
too.
so pretty.
And I do love to add the greenery swags with bows on all of my coach lights outside the house.
Okay.
So either side of the garage and either side of the house, I do like to add those there. Putting one out on the lamppost or a wreath out on your lamppost if you have a yard light, that's really pretty too. So there's no end to the beautiful things you can do, right?
One more question about the decorating then. Do you have specific, winter holiday pillows and blankets that you switch out?
I do have some actually. The blankets, I like the faux fur blankets. So the white or off white faux fur blankets, that's what I like. So we've got several of them around. So I don't get into color with those.
Okay.
And we also have some faux fur pillows that I put behind. But then I did get some cute holiday pillows, and I think they say joy on them. And they've got a tiny bit of red in them, but they're pretty neutral because that's my taste that I like. So my
Sure.
tree, even the big tree, is mostly gold, white or off-white, and then little sprinkles of red in there, just a tiny bit. So it's quite a traditional tree, but that's what I like. I like the traditional.
You accumulated ornaments throughout the year, or do you just have
Yeah.
it as you use the gold?
Definitely accumulated ornaments over the year from way back. Let's see, early 90s when I first started teaching kindergarten, a lot of the kids, obviously probably their moms or their parents would pick an ornament and give it. So some of them even have the kids' names underneath, on the bottom.
Sweet.
And so that's super sweet. And, the girls would have their favorite ornaments. So Jessica went through the ballet phase where she had all these little ballerina figurines. So that's in a box for Jessica. Occasionally I might put one on the tree, but those are really hers. And then Jordan, the animal lover, she had every, little animal with a Santa hat on. And so those are super cute too. So definitely an accumulation of ornaments over time. And I love finding, it doesn't even matter what it is. If it catches my attention and it's something that I think would bring a little joy on the tree, I'll pick it up and put it on the tree. But I have a lot of ornaments, so I don't really need a lot of ornaments
Right.
anymore. So it has to be pretty special to make it into the cart.
Well, when will the girls take their box for their own?
That's a great question. They actually both now live in one-bedroom apartments, so they might decide to do that. I'm not sure. I can imagine for them maybe a tabletop tree. But as I say that, I'm thinking of Jessica's 2 kittens, and I don't think it would last. So
Okay.
she might wanna wait on that.
Okay,
Yes. And
yeah.
even Jordan's little puppy, Jordan had some lights that she had hung up, and they hung down a little bit down the wall, and little Miss Cleo got a hold of them and chomped them up. So,
Ooh.
yeah, they might be a ways from having that.
Okay, okay. So
Yes.
fun.
Yeah,
This has been
so fun.
amazing.
How about your kids?
Yeah, they have a box. Last year, they both got trees because we were with them for
Ooh.
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
And
fun.
was it the day after Thanksgiving? We had a great day. We went to Home Depot. It was freezing out. I remember it was
Oh,
so cold. And the
yes.
Home Depot in the city, the city, it's not long and wide. It's the Home
Yes.
Depot was
Sure.
you know.
Yeah.
So the rooftop was the tree
Oh,
farm. So
okay.
we went up
Oh,
there. Julie wanted a real tree, so she picked one out and she got a box. I think they were gold, box of gold ornaments. But we have a
oh,
box for her too. And Teddy did pick out a really cute one. It's tall and skinny
yes.
and an artificial and plugged
Yeah.
in. We put it together. We went to each of their apartments. Super fun.
Oh, so
And
fun.
speaking of Joellen, every year she gives gifts to all the nieces.
Mhm.
And it's the pardon me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, the Swarovski,
Swarovski or something? Yeah, something like that.
the crystal,
Yes.
and it's the ornament of the year.
Oh,
So
nice.
each of the nieces or nephews, so I think
Mhm.
Julia has 24 or 23 of them, Teddy has.
Wow.
So it's been tradition that just at the top of our tree, it's
Mhm.
just this crystal tree.
Oh,
It's so pretty.
wow.
So they're gonna get their ornaments.
Uh,
So they have a big box, but yes, and then a few of the ones that they've gotten from their sports or very
sure.
fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw, I love that. Well, that reminds me that we are going to be having an episode coming up soon about traditions. We
Tradition.
really, really want our listeners to share their traditions, and we're hoping to do that in an audio format where you can tell us about it on a little audio clip and we'll share that. So stay tuned for some more information on that. In the meantime, if you are interested in getting this collection of recipes that we talked about today, we are going to put them together into a digital cookbook. We will include the link for that, or you can hop on over to our Redesigning Health and Home Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. We're going to share it on all of those platforms, and you are welcome to get that and enjoy it. We hope that you will. So, thank you so much for listening today.
Another big thank you to everyone that shared with us. We just absolutely love that, and everything sounds amazing and delicious. And Carrie, this is always a delight to be with you.
We hope that everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Thanks for listening to the Redesigning Health and Home podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, we would love for you to like, share, and follow along so you can catch us on all future episodes. You can find me, Meg, at Fit, Fed, Feeling Good on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And you can find me, Carrie, on my website at homestylewithcarrie.com and on Instagram and Facebook at Homestyle with Carrie. That's Kerri. And you can find both of us at Redesigning Health and Home on Instagram and Facebook. So join us next time for more inspiration on creating a home and a lifestyle that truly supports your best self.